This video is about how to effectively problem solve when you have no ceiling and your reception's outside and you have this kind of scenario where sure there's some twinkle lights and they might provide a little bit of lighting to allow you to focus, but certainly not enough to really light a scene. So what I noticed was that I was working with my friend Jonathan Yonkers in Costa Rica, and he's a fantastic videographer, and he set up two video lights. Now I do carry around video lights. I carry around lights that only cost me $100 each. I know there are better ones out there on the market, and I will be giving some tutorials later about how to use a video light. What they did was they put them on a stand, just a regular old stand, and they lit the scene just as you see it here. So this is Jonathan and his team lighting the scene. You can see that I was experimenting a little bit with my ISO and how many seconds I needed at this reception and my f-stop, and basically the scene was lit just like this. So I was able, without using my flash at all, I was able to take portraits like this of the speeches. And had the video lights not been set up, had I not had Jonathan's video lights shining on them and set up perfectly on stands, it wouldn't have worked for me. You can see here that I've changed my settings. I'm 125th of a second, f4.5, and ISO 4000 with my 85mm lens. I wanted to talk about a situation I had just last weekend. I was at a bonfire, and it was part of the rehearsal coverage, and of course absolutely no twinkle lights, no aiding lights at all. I tried to use my flash and just use the general fire light, and it just wasn't enough. I used my flash bender, and I was getting a couple of shots like this. So these were the ones that were taken right immediately from when I started shooting in the scene, and you can see it's just a very flashy image, and it's something that, yeah, you'd get out of most camera phones. There's nothing really special about the image, and it doesn't really say anything about the scene because I really like the ambience to show as well. And so what I did was I tried to take pictures just using the firelight then, instead of using my flash bender and my flash, and that wasn't really lighting it as effectively either. And these are coming straight out of my camera, so there's been no editing. It hasn't gone through Lightroom or anything like that. Then what I did was I set up two video lights, just like my friend Jonathan had a couple of months earlier at Angelie and Alex's wedding. I put them on stands. I brought the stands all the way, I brought them from BC to Ontario. And I just bought the lightest weight stands possible for $30 each on eBay. My video lights cost about $100, and that's basically how I lit the scene. So this is just letting you see the way that it's lit. And you can see that I've boosted up my ISO to the point that even though it's fairly dark outside, you can see how dark it is even over here, I was able to get a little bit of the way the moonlight was shining out on the lake. So this was the result. And it was much better to just turn my flash off, use the video lights, and simply take the pictures. And it didn't impact at all the ambience of the scene. You can see how the video lights were there. And in fact, there were a lot of mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes were attracted to the light, and they stayed away from the people. So people actually thanked me for bringing the video lights along. And they're dim enough that you wouldn't be able to light an entire reception room with this. This only worked because we were outside. There's no ceiling. There's no ability for me to bounce my flash. And if I had a ceiling, I would have done that as opposed to lighting a scene strictly by video lights. But video lights will save you if you've got an outdoor reception and you're just under starlight and there's nothing else you can do. So it's a great way to problem solve, and I highly recommend doing this kind of a setup. It's worked for me twice now, and it's certainly going to be something that I will use in my little bag of tricks of problem solving from now on.